Well, howdy friends. It's your boy, Daniel Dragonstaff, and in this video, I wanted to talk about where I'm at with everything. So this might be the most difficult video that I've ever made, and I've tried writing out a script for it, and I just keep trashing them. It just feels too rehearsed, and I just want to jump on here and be real. So because I don't have a script, I do have some notes to kind of make sure I don't miss anything, but that's about it. But because I don't have a script, I don't know how long this video is going to be. Essentially, this will be a little therapy session here, and I will edit things out as I see fit. So what do I mean when I say where I'm at with everything? I really mean pretty much where I'm at with everything. This YouTube channel, the Patreon channel, where I'm at with just making content and videos overall, where I'm at in my life, just kind of where I'm at with everything right about now. This is basically an attempt to put everything in perspective because I'll drop the bomb right here at the beginning. I'm no longer going to be posting tutorials to YouTube or Patreon starting January 1st of 2026. And this was such a difficult decision to make. But yeah, essentially after having a workshop of mine taken and a routine of mine taken, I just haven't wanted to put things out into the world that could be taken and profited off of. And that even includes new tricks now. Over the past year, I've probably come up with a dozen or so tricks that I haven't seen before, but I'm just doing my best not to post them on the internet. And I feel like once that's kind of where you're at, you should probably, call it a quits and head on out because I no longer want to share what I'm working on. I get a lot of satisfaction still out of spinning Dragonstaff and out of dorking out and learning new tricks for myself, but for many reasons, I don't want to put them out into the internet anymore. So really, since I went to my last Flow Festival in April of 2024. Since then, and then shortly after that, I left Facebook and Instagram. Since then, I've really struggled with what I should be doing with my Patreon and with my YouTube, and I've gone back and forth with a bunch of ideas. Thought about just turning it into a drama channel where I basically just talk shit about stuff and whatever I feel like talking about. And in case any of you didn't know, my YouTube isn't monetized. It'll never be monetized because I don't care about using music that is copyrighted, whichever one. I just want to use the music that I like, and for that reason I've got a bunch of strikes on there and the channel could never get monetized. So I thought about slowly moving all the tutorials over to a new YouTube channel and starting fresh so I could get it monetized, but no matter which way I look at it, it's going to be a lot of work, and I don't feel like I have it in me anymore. And no matter how much thought I put into what to do with my channels now, it's weird putting like 10 years of all of your resources and time and energy and focus into something just after 10 years kind of be like, meh, I'm done. But here's the thing that I keep coming back to as I write out these scripts and get all up in my feels about this. None of it actually matters, because in the grand scheme of everything going on in the world right now and in the country right now, and even in my life right now, and I'm sure your lives right now, playing with a stick and teaching people how to do tricks with a stick is so unimportant that the more worked up I get about it, the sillier it all seems. So yeah, as much as this does seem like a big deal for me and a big decision, It's really not. It's really not that big of a deal. So I can't keep going on about my problems with the flow community, and I don't want to bring any more attention to some of these dorks in the flow community that steal from other artists that they can try to, climb their way up and make a profit. At this point, it all just seems like almost like a crazy dream that I had, like where I chased my for lack of a better word, chased my dreams and basically achieved everything that I wanted to achieve within that dream. And now I'm waking up and just kind of looking back on it all. It almost doesn't feel real. And when I think about this past decade of being kind of in the flow arts community, and for whatever reason, the negativity makes more of an impact on you than the positivity. But at the end of the day, and I'm not just saying this because we're in November and coming up on Thanksgiving and all that, I really am just grateful for all of it. The experiences. I met so many awesome people, so many people that I still consider friends and that I still keep in touch with. And I'm equally grateful for the bad experiences. It all taught me a lot. I wish that I could go back and do it all again and do things a little bit differently. But yeah, at the end of the day, I just can't help but be grateful for it all because I grew so much as a person through these experiences. I gained a lot of confidence in myself as a person, and also in my ability to do things and my ability to communicate with people and my ability to see something that I want to figure out, apply myself until I have it figured out. And that goes a long way, and that's something that you can carry with you to anything. I really do believe that at least the majority of flow artists are really great learners, and that is a skill that is invaluable. It carries into everything if you apply yourself and if you care as much about those things as you do flow arts, which is kind of another whole aspect of this. My entire time in flow arts, I've always worked another, what I used to call a muggle job, or what others call a 9-to-5 job, to make ends meet. And I always felt like I had to work like 3, 4, 5 times as hard as other people because I needed to work a normal job to pay my bills, put in time as a flow artist to get better, put in work to actually get gigs performing and try to make money performing, put in applications to teach, also going through yoga teacher training and also teaching yoga on the side, and then recording all of the tutorials and stuff for Patreon and YouTube. And then when I was on Facebook and Instagram, also having to make sure that you're recording content for Facebook and Instagram. And then also just finding time to do yoga for yourself, because that's what it's all about, and finding time for flow arts just for yourself, because that's still my favorite part of flow arts. I just felt like I was doing so much, and now that I've kind of reeled it all in, I really, aside from recording the Patreon tutorials, I've really just been working a normal job, doing yoga for myself and flowing for myself. And it's been so nice that now it's really hard to go back to anything else. I can't imagine leaving behind my house right now and a job that I like and my relationship to go into debt to teach at a festival where someone could potentially steal the routine that I'm performing or the workshop that I'm teaching. You would have to actually provide an incentive to pull me away from the life that I'm living now to do that. And for the entire time that I've been in flow arts, it's really been my escape from my actual life that I did not like so much. So the only thing getting me through working hard jobs and jobs that I hated and getting through tough situations was knowing that in 2 months I got tickets to a Flow Festival. In 3 or 4 months I'm gonna be at this event. And now it's the exact opposite. Now that I really like my life, I don't have to look forward to something to escape my life. And as I said a moment ago, I would need some serious incentive to actually leave behind the life that I've currently built to go teach or perform or do anything like that. And I do also want to go a little bit into my kind of social media crash out. When was that? I think it was earlier this year. So leading up to that, I was working a different job than the one I'm working now. But at that job that I was working, I had a lot of downtime, like maybe 3 hours plus of downtime per day on the clock that I could kind of do whatever with. And since I wasn't on social media, I wasn't just draining my time into doom scrolling. So I had a lot of time on my hands and I decided to be productive about it. And so I did a lot of research on FAI and Flow festivals in general. I basically added up expenses and would overestimate on all of them so that I know I'm not cutting them short. I would call the venues where they host events at and see how much it costs for a weekend near the one that they host their event around. And I basically added up all the expenses and did a rough estimate of profits by multiplying the amount of attendees by the ticket prices. And I was able to see that they are making a good lot of money. So then I also decided, I had a lot of spare time on my hands and I had written a business plan back in college for like a music venue, but I was like, let me write out a business plan for a Flow Festival and see if I could make it profitable. And yeah, it's definitely very easy to make profitable. If your Flow Festival is not profitable, I don't know what the heck you're doing, or if you didn't write a business plan, or if you wrote a very poor one, or what the situation is. So that's kind of where I was coming at things from when I came onto social media, kind of blowing up FAI. I approached it like I didn't have a lot of information because I didn't want to come on as a know-it-all. And I think a lot of people just ended up arguing with me like, Flow festivals don't even make a profit. And I was like, this is not the argument I'm here to have. I already know that they make a profit. And I just want to call them out for being dirty and not paying the artists that sell tickets to their events and then lying to the community and saying that they don't make a profit when anybody, and I mean anybody that I've talked to that's run a rough estimate, and honestly a generous estimate, has found that they make a profit. So I wrote my own business plan for my own Flow event, we'll say. It's gonna be very different from the other Flow festivals. And I was basically planning on spending this whole past year working and saving so that I could put on my own Flow event and pay all the artists handsomely and show people how it's done, that this isn't how you treat the artists and you should compensate the artists, provide them an incentive to bring their passion to your event and to really make organizations like FAI look as terrible as I believe that they are. Now, seeing how people responded to my social media crash out, if you want to call it that, it was a well-justified crash out. But seeing how people responded, I don't plan on doing a Flow event anymore. I 100% expected pushback and people to argue and people to defend FAI and people to say they don't make a profit. I was ready for all those kinds of arguments. What I wasn't ready for was the personal attacks that came into my messages. People made some pretty gnarly accusations towards me, and I should have known, because if you can't attack the argument and the argument's making you or your friends or your organization look bad, then yeah, you attack the person's character so that nobody even wants to believe that person. But it just bummed me out so much that I'm like, okay, looking at this all big picture, taking a step back, what do I get out of working for a year or two, saving all my money and putting on a flow event? Considering that I'm going to use a lot of the profits to hook up all the artists and people who make the event happen, because that's how it should be. So what do I get out of it? Clout? I don't care about clout. I basically get the satisfaction of knowing that I bettered the community and hopefully fixed it and showed people this is how you do it, so that organizations like FAI can't keep taking advantage of the community. But at the point where people are like insulting me and making accusations towards me just for wanting to make the community better and help people, I would rather use my time and resources elsewhere. Maybe open up a cat sanctuary, you know? I found, off topic, but I found a cat sanctuary near me who does yoga classes to help raise funds for, you know, the homeless cats there. So I'm a certified yoga teacher. I could go teach yoga there and help cats. I could ask them if they want some fire performances, and all the proceeds could go to helping these cats. And these cats aren't sliding up in my messages with some dirty accusations. So which one would I rather give my time and resources to helping? A really fickle community that'll flip on you as soon as you hurt their feelings, or cats? I'm going cats. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that. I felt like I had to address that because the cat kind of came out of the bag during my social media crash out, as some people's response was, if you're not happy with how they're doing it, then why don't you do it better? And it's like, well, haha, bitch, I already plan on it. But now I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna pass. So yeah, let me attempt to kind of wrap this whole thing up. YouTube videos are gonna end January 2026. I might post like a flow video or two per year just for the fun of it, to show off what I've been working on if I decide I want to show new tricks to the internet. The Patreon gonna get a little bit tricky. My computer just crashed and I just had to basically factory reset it, and I lost a lot of stuff. But if everything goes to plan, the Patreon, I'm not going to be making any new tutorials, but I am still going to alter the tiers, and I am going to leave those tutorials up there for if anybody now or in the future wants to dig deeper into Dragonstaff and also have yoga classes and have hundreds of tutorials to sift through. Then that platform will always be there, rather than me just giving them on over to YouTube where they aren't going to give me anything for it anyways. So I'd rather just leave them up on Patreon. But yeah, there won't be any new videos coming up. There will just be all the past ones, which is still a lot, and I think still worth what the price will be. The whole starting a festival thing, probably not gonna happen, but we'll see. I do hope that one day I'm in my backyard flowing, or I'm sitting in here looking at my props, and I get that motivation to return to flow festivals, or to start that flow event that I was talking about, and to come back at it all. But right now I just don't see the incentive through it all. Like I said, I'm very grateful. I achieved my goals. I gained a sense of confidence and fulfillment that I was not able to walk around with before. And most importantly, I maintained my integrity, and not everybody in this scene can say the same thing. And I wanted to end this video with a quote, because I have had to use a lot of discipline not to come on here and bash people by name in the community that are doing dirty things. I have whole videos written out for specific people and groups that I'm never going to make, because I don't want to bring attention to them by name. But I did write down a quote that I want to end with. And that is, it's a quote that I think of when I think of these people that really drove me away from the community and drive others away from the community as well. No one is so useless that they can't at least serve as a bad example. So I want to thank those people for showing me a bad example of an artist, for showing me who I don't want to be, and for also giving me a little push out of the flow scene to get me to where I'm at now, where I'm living a much better life. And there you have where I'm at with everything. This was a very difficult video for me to make. I know it wasn't the most positive video, but it's where we're at. It is what it is. It ain't what it ain't. And I appreciate you all truly. I mean that with all my heart. All of you who have supported me on this journey. I've had a lot more support than I've had hate, and I know that. So I just want to say I appreciate you all and much love. And this is my sweet cat here. Her name's Indy, and she means the world to me. She's the reason I became a cat person, because she's kind of a cat dog, if you can't tell. Huh, Indy girl? Yeah.